the sidelines. Has a man wide open. It's tipped. It's picked off. MJ Devonshire. Got face. He's going to take it to the end zone. Pittsburgh takes the lead.
He loves those moments. It reminds me of last year in the Garden against St. John's. And guys just stepped up. Blake hits a what the hell 3. You know, we're like, what are you doing? And he's done that all year.
Klicka out to Bizzario. It's over! The Pitt Panthers have upset Wisconsin.
Anybody if he hits his field goal. Up and got it! Sauls does it again!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Simple 5 Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Kaminsky, joined by my co-host, Mason Kling. And ladies and gentlemen, Phil Jurkovec has been compromised to a permanent end.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him. I mean, it's 2 weeks too late, but it's nice that a change was made. That's all I'm going to say.
It does feel good to know that even the unbullyable head coach of Pat Narduzzi can be bullied into making the right coaching decisions. So kind of weird going into a bye week, but I guess it makes sense. Get 2 weeks with the ones for Veer.
Yeah. I think that, looking back on it, I feel like the bye week was always going to be the time that they were going to go to Veer. They were never going to go midweek and, only have 5 days of practice with the ones. But yeah, like you said, Veer has. Well, first of all, this is all to be clear. This is rumored. This is or from a source. Noah Hiles over at the Post-Gazette tweeted this out and wrote a story on it. Christian Veer is the presumptive starter. Nate Yarnell is QB2, leaving Phil Jurkovec at QB3. Which,
yikes. Woof, Phil.
Woof. What an unceremonious end to that playing career, to be dropped down to QB3. But also, it makes sense, and at the same time, if he's QB3 material, why was he even QB1 to start with? But
The narrative.
The hometown hero who was more of a sleeper agent, double agent spy for, I don't know, Boston College.
Somebody. Definitely not somebody from Pittsburgh.
There you go. Well, there you go. All right. I mean, I don't know. I don't have much to say. I don't think the offense is going to change, but it's a better offense when your quarterback isn't spiking the ball 4 yards in front of a receiver. I think that's pretty much my only outlook here.
Well, I mean, yeah, and it's now we get a real look at Veer because we saw a little bit of him and it didn't look great, but you can't judge off of coming into a game cold without really any reps or anything. So I'm excited for that at least. Maybe we'll get a little Sun Bowl action where they rally behind the paddy wagon. We got to find a name for Veer.
We're gonna workshop that, but yeah. I mean, honestly, you kind of got to a little bit with maybe the team rallies around him, but at least for the fan base, you could kind of see the fan base really starting to turn on Pat because he refused to bench Phil. So it does buy a little bit of goodwill, and honestly, if he wins 1 or 2 games more than we're expecting to right now, it gives the fan base hope going into next year. So you're not, you can at least build on something with a young guy instead of just running into a brick wall with the old guy. If you're doing that with the old guy, it's a failure. If you're doing it with the young guy, it's development. Everyone lies to themselves, but we're all going to be saying it in about 4 weeks. So just warning you now.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. Yeah, I don't know. I really just hope it looks better. I think it will.
O-line's got to get better, but overall, I think when you're not dealing with a roulette wheel arm, whether you're playing Veer or Yarnell steps in at some point this season, the throws will be more consistent, even if they're not making the right reads because they're younger guys and they don't read college defense as well as they did in high school, it's just something to sell your fans on, that you're developing guys and working towards the future of the program. And I think it goes a long way in a lot of facets. Should have happened earlier, but it's better late than never.
Exactly.
Okay. Q&A time. We got some questions that need answered.
Let's do it. I'm full of answers.
Okay, you're full of answers. All right. This one from @PicketBeliever. Give me one reason to live Pitt football isn't. Pitt football's back, baby. Now, I will say this question was submitted approximately 24 hours before it was said that Phil was benched. All I'm going to say, it has to be over for you to be back.
You get a new shiny toy in Christian Veillere to be excited about. That's why you believe in Pitt football. We're going to get like a little Kenny's coming out party was against number 2 Miami. I guess I don't even remember what year that was now. 2018 probably.
17.
Was it 17? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we get the Christian Veillere. They are holy crap. The Christian Veillere party against the number 2 Florida State or something. I don't know.
It's a little bit to ask for, but one can hope, right?
I'm really just trying to. Crazier things have happened, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, also, basketball's right around the corner. I think that the basketball team is still going to be pretty good. Volleyball's fucking fun, man. If you're not on this volleyball team, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Game this Friday against Georgia Tech. I think it's a top 15 matchup in volleyball, top 25. Can't give him any hope for the Steelers, though. That's going to be they got to do the same, fire the offensive coordinator trick. But
there's plenty of room on this the Washington Husky bandwagon here too. Pick a believer.
Brother, you got the Huskies, you got the Cougars. Just flip a coin. Do you like purple? Or you like red? Maybe you're more of a green guy. You go with Kent. You get on Oregon.
Yeah.
Just have some Pac-12 fun. Okay, next up from Kevin Plaucha @Berg Sports Season. Does Pitt win another game this year? Yes. And I would have said this before Phil got benched. I still think we would have beaten Boston College, who I think is one of the few teams worse than us, along with Virginia. I think Veillere buys you another win. A random one. I don't know which one it is. I'm expecting 3-4.
Yeah. I know those teams look bad, but it's not one win bad. I mean, there has to be.
There's got to be a second in there.
It might be 2 win bad, but from watching this, haven't watched a lot of Boston College, but I still think we could get them. There's going to be some other wacky stuff that goes on.
It's the ACC. No teams are actually good unless you're the very top of the league. So, like you said, wacky shit's going to happen. There's going to be a weird game like, maybe the Wake Forest quarterback has such a bad attack of the shits and transmits it to the whole team that they're playing like walk-ons. Like, crazier things have happened. Also, I think it's 4 wins is a little hopeful, but I would say it's more likely this team gets to 3 than they do not go over after the first game of the season.
I think one of the other questions to ask here, kind of in a similar vein, is: are we going to be favored in a single game for the remainder of the season? Because there's a very good chance if we end with Boston College, correct?
Second to last week.
Okay.
We end up with Duke.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a very good chance that if we keep on this trajectory that we're going there, I don't think it's guaranteed that we're favored against BC.
I mean, I don't know. BC lost to NIU, who's not that good.
Played Florida State tough, though.
All right, so if BC and Clemson both played Florida State tough, do you think that BC is going to be playing tough with Clemson?
No.
Yeah. There you go. I'm actually trying to find this because you can kind of predict. My one of my friends has a spreadsheet and it gives you win probabilities for each team. Okay, Pittsburgh. We are projected 2 wins the rest of the year, and we are still a heavy favorite against Boston College.
All right.
Like the only other win that's even close is 40% expected win percentage against Wake Forest, and then 80 against Boston College. So even the computers are still very down on Boston College. Okay, next up, I want to address this one real quick. Is Narduzzi trying to get fired? No, but also he can't get fired. His buyout, if you do the buyout math, which I'm actually going to... Friend of the show, B1G_Ryan, did this the other night.
Is Pat Narduzzi quiet quitting?
Is he quiet quitting? Yeah.
Kind
Is
of.
he a Zoomer millennial focused? Is he scrolling on TikTok when he's supposed to be scheming up the defense?
Pat Narduzzi's just doom scrolling while he's supposed to be watching tape.
He's just scrolling down our feed, and he's just like, "Oh, damn."
I think Pat Narduzzi has a burner. He seems like a coach that'd have a burner.
Okay, so I don't think he knows technology enough. I think clearly someone else runs his account with like his input, but Pat's not sending send on those tweets, right? If anyone was going to have a burner, I think it's Signetti. I think Signetti definitely has a burner that no one's found yet.
That's our bye-week task. Find a Signetti burner.
How would you go about finding a Signetti burner? Would it be like, would he go the traditional route of defending himself, or would he go like roundabout, defend Phil?
See, I don't know. It's tough too in today's Twitter because you have all these, like, I think it's come full circle where people now make fake burners to try to, like, there's some people out there that have an account that's trying to be KD's burner or like stuff like that. So I feel like that makes it even harder to kind of pick out what's real and what's fake.
I think the only tried and true way is to go through the followers, like, because they always somehow end up following themselves or following the burner, which is the first rule of burners. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. If Pat Narduzzi had a burner, it would be very funny.
I'd follow it.
I'd follow it. If Pat Narduzzi, you have a burner, reach out to the podcast. We won't tell anybody. We promise.
Yeah.
Your secret's safe with us.
Our journalistic integrity is strong, Pat. Come leak some news to us.
We have the journalistic integrity of paper mache. No, so going back to the buyout. Pat Narduzzi is basically unfireable for about 3 or 4 years. If you take standard buyout terms, about 85% of the contract. His current salary is just south of $6 million a year. That's about $35 million worth of buyout money. So he's doing a bad job. He can't get fired unless like Mark Cuban decides to all of a sudden really be a Pitt guy, which he's never going to be.
We just need a lot. We just people to buy a shit ton more fake slide Pilsner. If you want Narduzzi gone, you gotta buy that NIL.
I mean,
I guess it's a completely different fund, but I don't know.
You've heard of drinking away the pain. Now you can drink away your coach. No, I kid. But am I? No. All right. One more depressing question, and then on to a non-Pitt football question. So let's get all the bad ones out of the way first. From friend of the show, Dom Campbell, at Dom is Money. With the ACC seemingly improving this year and Pitt potentially having one of their worst seasons ever, is Pitt in danger of falling behind the rest of the conference in the coming years, or is this just a one-off season? What do you think? I'm going to go to you first.
I'd love to say that it is Pitt having a down year, given how much talent we kind of lost and graduated last year, combined with the fact of Clemson being, the ACC juggernaut that they are. And a lot of these other programs are kind of that slow burn, like long build. When you look at Duke, when you look at Florida State's done it a little bit quicker, but they've been building. It's like not a surprise that those teams are good. I think we can build back to that point too.
So I will say, if Frank Signetti is fired at the end of the year, like I don't think you can bring him back. Like it's just going to cause a lot of blowback with the fan base. I do think it's possible to get back up off your feet. Like you said, there's a ton of talent that we lost last year, and like honestly, I think we did really sort of play it off last year. Like the defense did lose so much. Like the guys who are playing now are really just getting their feet wet. As far as the conference improving as a whole, I'm not sure that I really agree with that. I think that Clemson is still good, but they're not the juggernaut they used to be. I think right now everyone's vying for that juggernaut spot. I don't really buy Louisville right now. I think they put a pretty easy schedule. Florida State, I do buy. I'm bought in on Florida State. I think they're for real. UNC, Mac Brown's not going to be there forever. Duke, I think Mike Elko is going to jump to a bigger job soon, so I think they're more of a flash in the pan than anything. And then the rest of the conference. The only team I don't really know what to make of is Miami because they look good, but I basically won't believe it until I see them holding up a ACC trophy.
Right.
But yeah, I think this should and could be a one-off season. You just have to fire the offensive coordinator at the end of it.
Yeah, you got it. It's not going to be a one-off season if you just go and basically do what we did this past off season and not really change a whole lot. Yeah, they brought in QB talent with the air quotes, but we didn't. Obviously, it wasn't as much talent as we thought, and if you're in the same shitty offense, it's still just as bad. So if Pat Narduzzi shakes the tree a little bit, I think he can definitely build the program back up, but you got to do something.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, like some of these teams have had some pretty quick rebuilds. I think if you make the right OC hire, you can realistically come back in like 2 years. A lot of programs are doing it now. You basically just do 1 year of the portal and then just recruit heavily off that year is basically the bounce back model for every modern college football team now. So it's not impossible to really get back to not 10 or 11-3, but like you can realistically bounce back to the expected floor for Pat, which is like 8 wins. So
yeah, I think
that's where we're at.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more.
All right. Next up, from Noah, friend of the show, Noah Donovan. I think repeat guest, if I remember correctly. Who do you think is the number one team in the country and why? I'll go to you first.
We kind of talked about this a little bit last week, I feel like. You erring more on the side of we have enough games that the schedule can talk for itself now. I'm going with the true until proven otherwise aspect with the Georgia Bulldogs. I know it's not exactly going out on a limb. Sorry, you're not going to get your scalding hot takes today. But until I see otherwise, they're my one. Are they as far and away a one as they were in previous years? No. But
okay. All right.
I will acknowledge
that. Thanos snapped out of existence. Who's your number one?
Make a real, I don't know, because Texas has 2 really good wins. Probably the best win at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Florida State has the better wins, honestly.
Okay.
Nah, give me the Longhorns. Give me the Longhorns.
I'm going to air with you. I think that one of Oregon or Washington might end up being the best team in the country, but right now, Texas is number one. Like you said, Alabama is the best win in the entire country. They're still, I believe they're ranked, Alabama's still ranked at 11. and then they put Kansas in the dirt, who was a top 25 team. They've taken care of every other team they've played. Florida State, I'd like to see them do it with more emphasis. Like, they have beaten Clemson and LSU. They did. I think LSU is a little bit of a worse team than we thought they were coming into the season. I think they're solidly a number 3, but yeah, I have Texas number 1 just based on what we've seen, and I think they're going to get to prove it this weekend, which we'll get to in a little bit. Last question here. This one is just for you, Mason. From Official Kluges. When a hairless cat sees a regular, non-hairless cat, do you think it becomes aware of its own hairlessness?
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because I don't know a lot about cats, man, but I do know that they're like rubbing up against everything with their faces all the time. And I feel like if you saw another cat that looked like that, maybe it's not even the sight thing, but when you feel their fur, you're like, what the fuck is this? Why don't I have this? So yeah, I think they do. I think they are smart enough to realize.
Well said. Well said. It's like, fuck, I'm bald. I'm bald as shit.
Yeah, it probably is a huge fucking blow to the ego, though. Those things weird me out, man.
Yeah, I don't much care.
You couldn't pay me enough to have one of those.
I think one of the biggest, draws to having a cat is the fact that they have fur. So I'm with you on that. All right. That's all the questions we got. Thank you to everyone that sent them in. Real quick, let's wrap it up. Let's go through the weekend ahead. Pitt's off, thank fucking God. So you can enjoy some good college football this weekend.
Yeah.
And while the weekday games aren't that great, they're still on. We're in the middle of 53 straight days of football between college, NFL.
Let's go.
We're in football Valhalla right now. But Saturday kicks off with a fucking banger. It's Red River.
Red River. Are we going rivalry or shootout this year?
Shootout. Come on.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. Another test for our Longhorns here.
R.
We're everything but a Pitt podcast, all right?
Okay, that's fair. We cover 130 out of 131 teams. No, I think this is going to be it's going to bring the shootout name back. These are two powerhouse offenses. I think Oklahoma just dropped 50 on Iowa State. Texas is who we've seen.
Yeah. It's one of those, I haven't watched a lot of Oklahoma because they've just been kind of dropping their nuts on a lot of teams and running up the score a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I don't know a lot about this offense. I know that's your typical high-powered Oklahoma offense. So we'll be interested to see how they do going into Austin.
No. They don't play it in Austin. It's at the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, right.
Is
that always neutral?
Yeah, it's because it's the Texas State Fair, I believe. So
that's right.
But yeah, it is always there, which I love. It's sort of like a mini Rose Bowl where half the stadium is orange, half the stadium is red. That's always cool to me.
Yeah, Texas is sitting at 6.5 point favorites right now. Over unders at 60. Give me Texas in the points. I'll take the over also.
I like the over. Yeah, I would ride with that. Texas in the points and the over, just because they're going to be slinging it. I mean, Dylan Gabriel has almost 1,600 yards for Oklahoma, 15 touchdowns, and Quinn has almost 1,400, 10 touchdowns. Texas is a little bit better at running the ball. That's something to watch out for there. Yep. A little bit better.
Control the clock in that game. The last one that's going to have the ball is probably going to win.
I mean, if you can keep possessions away from the other team, that's the key, right? Next up, do you think Maryland has a shot going to number 4 Ohio State? No.
No. it'll be fun. I don't know. Maybe they'll keep it close in the first half with the offense. Get those scripted plays. They'll,
Mm-hmm.
you know, first drive they'll probably look pretty good. But there's just, I'd love for it to be close.
I'm almost more open to it being close late just because the Ohio State offense hasn't looked fantastic, but they also never look bad against Maryland. So I'm kind of on the same page as you.
It's also in Columbus, so I mean,
Yeah,
that if it was in College Park,
it's not Maryland has sort of a pit style home field
Mhm.
advantage where they don't really have one.
but it's just it's not even that it's a home field advantage. It's just you're not going to Columbus.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Do you have any interest in LSU at Missouri? 5-0 Missouri.
Tiger Bowl.
Tiger Bowl. Oh, fuck.
But yeah, no, this is like I don't want to say a mid off, but
Missouri's 5-0.
yeah. I think Missouri wins this game outright.
I tend
Firmly
to agree.
putting
LSU.
Why am I blanking on LSU's head coach right now?
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. Thank you. I almost said Chad Kelly.
LSU head coach Swag Kelly.
Yeah, Swag Kelly. Yeah, firmly putting him right on the hot seat.
I don't know about hot seat yet. I think he's on fraud watch. That secondary looks terrible. They couldn't stop a wet fart. And Missouri has one really awesome receiver, and I think they're just going to throw it to him, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop Missouri from doing it. Now, here's a question for you. If Missouri were to beat Clemson and LSU, this is completely hypothetical, in the same season, would they then steal the name Death Valley from those two? They win in the Tiger off.
That is a nice, little trophy of whoever is the best Tiger in college football should get the title of Death Valley. I like that.
We're going to look into making this happen. We're going to look into it. Oh, fuck. Rutgers is 4-1. I didn't notice this. That's going to be a gross game between Rutgers and Wisconsin. Same color, two pretty good defenses. Gross. Do not watch, but what if Rutgers is 5-1? That'd be pretty stupid. Listen, 3:30 ABC. You can see Virginia Tech get pounded by Florida State just to sort of make you feel worse about last week. Big game though, 3:30 on CBS. Number 11 Alabama goes to Texas A&M. Alabama's only a 1.5 point favorite. Do you have a read here?
This feels like a no-brainer that Alabama wins this game by, I would say pretty comfortably. I don't know what A&M has done to warrant this line. Is it just the College Station, or
they have beaten both of their SEC opponents by 2 scores. They did lose to Miami, which isn't great, but yeah, I don't know, man. I believe they made a change. They're on their backup quarterback with Max Johnson. They're not great on offense. They don't look spectacular on defense. I think it might just be Kyle Field and the fact that Bama is having a down year of sorts, you know? And I believe
a down year as they're 4-1. I mean, they win this game. I feel like they're going to be a New Year's 6 watch.
Pretty easily. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but Alabama has played Texas A&M 15 times. Do you want to guess how many wins Texas A&M has?
Johnny Manziel, so 1.
1. Okay.
I can't think of any others.
They did win 2 years ago in College Station. And then their only other win came in 1968. I guess it kind of follows last year's game where they almost beat them with sort of the same team, with just like the same team Texas A&M every year. Might just be a recruiting thing. They recruit pretty similarly, but I also wouldn't be shocked if Alabama just dumpsters them because that's what they do. They always do at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing. I mean, you have Wake Forest, Clemson. Don't think that one's going to really be anything special. Oh well. UConn's 0-5. Look at that. 7 o'clock, ESPN, Kentucky at Georgia. If Georgia's for real, they win this game by multiple scores. That's all I'm going to say.
This is the litmus test for Georgia?
I mean, I think so. Kentucky ran for like 300 yards on Florida last week. They've got a very mean running back. They've got, I mean, Devin Leary hasn't looked great, but they do have a better quarterback than Will Levis. This is at home, so you better win this one, and you better do it, I think, pretty comfortably.
This will be, this is their first opportunity to number one until proven otherwise here. So first kind of test for them, I guess.
I think it's the first test on paper because Auburn was definitely a test. I would just like them to, like, if they play another game where they're down late, like, yeah, and they still like pull it out. They still won, but I think less of them because they're doing it like Kentucky and Auburn. There are clearly lesser competition, or like they're just not on the same level as Georgia. If they're playing with their food, eventually you get got in a game where you're not up for it. Ooh. 7:30 ABC. Notre Dame goes to Louisville. 5-1 versus 5-0. Keep forgetting that Louisville is 5-0. Now keep an eye out on this one because it's actually probably one of the better games of the entire day.
Here's where we find out if Louisville is fraudulent or not.
Yep.
I think they might. I think they might get fraud status.
Fraud status at home?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. Shout out, by the way, G5. G5 game of the week, 8 o'clock on Fox. Fresno State at Wyoming. Really good offense versus a fucking great defense with our favorite quirked up white boy at quarterback in Wyoming. I will be tuning into this one, but
Mountain West is low-key showing out this year.
Low-key best G5 league?
I was just gonna say it's probably the best group of five. Yeah.
I mean, their only competition is probably the Sun Belt. And like JMU might be the best individual G5 team, but the Mountain West has Air Force, Fresno State, UNLV, and Wyoming, who all have 0 or 1 loss. So
something to keep an eye on.
They're a lot of fun this year for sure. Late night, Arizona goes to USC. We said Colorado, USC was a pretty easy over. They bumped the line up to 72 for this one. You might want to hit it anyway. Neither of these teams have any interest in defending the pass, so I think it's possible.
You know how brutal it would be to sit there and take this under and have to watch this game?
At 10:30?
You're chasing your losses from earlier in the day, and you have to sit and watch these. I mean, I don't hate the play because it is a lot of points, and I don't think Arizona is quite as dynamic as Colorado. Crazy to say, I know, but yeah. Dude, that would just be so tough.
You're not having fun. You're not having fun.
Right.
This can't be right. Arizona's leading rusher hasn't scored a touchdown this year. Right? Okay, here's where the points come from. Arizona's quarterback is a little bit of a gunslinger. 9 touchdowns, 5 picks. You could get points going the other way.
Oh, a little pick six action to cover that number?
I mean, Arizona's averaging 430 yards a game, and USC is averaging 555. I think that you don't hate an Arizona over.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
You sold me on the Arizona offense a little bit.
Man, I can sell water to a sailboat at this point. Did I blow past it? Wouldn't it be funny? I think I did.
I actually don't have a Wouldn't It Be Funny this week right now.
No humor.
So, the world of college football is pain. There is no joy.
Nothing. To
I did not select a Wouldn't It Be Funny.
Well, I know why. We're not playing.
Yeah, that's actually 100% right. We needed a break from pit football. We needed a break from Wouldn't It Be Funny as well.
Exactly. We're not finding ironic joy in this week. We're just finding real joy. We're watching real teams play real football, and they're not wearing pit blue and gold.
We don't have to be cynical. We just get to watch some college football.
And that'll be all from us. If you like the show, rate us on your podcast app of choice. Follow the Twitter @Simplify Pod, and we'll see you next time.
Hail to Pitt.